Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Apathetic Cooking. It's been almost a year since the last one, to the point where a significant portion of my Snapchat friends list won't know what this is. To enlighten you, I make cooking videos relatively late at night, and they're all awful. But for some reason, and I really don't know why, some people watch them. Tonight we'll actually be baking. It'll be apathetic baking. And we're making a carrot cake. Hence the carrots. Woohoo! The first step is to preheat the oven to 180 degrees. See, the joke there was that I turned around about 180 degrees. Then we need to grease and flour a baking tray that looks approximately large enough for one carrot cake. This looks about right. Though the worst case, if you don't have the right size, is that you have too much, in which case you just make another carrot cake or a bigger carrot cake. Or otherwise you have too little, in which case you just have a slightly overcooked smaller carrot cake. Neither of which eventualities are necessarily soul destroying, they're just sort of, inoptimal. So I may have been a little over representative about how many carrots I'd be using. You can't really let carrots get out of hand and think they're the boss. I mean, their name already comes first in the recipe. It's like, what more do you want? Geez, carrots, get out of my face. I mean, they're pretty great, but they're not that great. There's one way to make them greater though. Do you get the joke yet? It's very difficult to grate something without stabilizing the grater, so I might just, skip this bit. I think that was probably the most carrots I've ever grated at once before. By the way, I should probably mention I've never made carrot cake, and we're going on this journey together. In this bowl, I'm now going to mix together 4 eggs, some oil, caster sugar, vanilla, bicarb soda, flour, and baking powder, as well as some nutmeg, cinnamon, salt, maple syrup. I said vanilla. It's probably important the amount you put in, but I mean, you win some, you lose some. I'm obviously out of practice doing that. Really out of practice, it seems. Ugh. I think I'll just do the next one with 2 hands. And now the part I'm sure my grandparents will be really happy about. Me doing this at 12 p.m. What a lovely sound. Honestly, this is quieter than I expected, so that's nice. Now I need to mix in the cinnamon, salt, and some baking powder and bicarb soda. I was going to put in some ground cardamom to make it taste like Christmas, but then I didn't have any, so yeah. I'm beginning to realize that this is a lot more mixture than will fit in this pan, but as I said earlier, I guess that just means more carrot cake. I'm now going to chop up some pecans and walnuts, not really to add to the flavor or texture or anything, but to give a spooky surprise to any anaphylactic thieves that try to steal my cake. I also want to note that I'm having to store my phone in this ice just to stop it overheating between videos. I find that quite entertaining. That was about as much work as I expected it to be. Nuts, huh? Now I'm going to stir in carrots and nuts. This is definitely going to be too much for that container. Maybe too much for 2 of those containers. Or on the positive side, enough for 2 of those containers. Doing this with one hand is certainly harder than I expected. Not that I'd ever use a recipe, because that would require, looking one up and then printing it out and then following it. But hypothetically, if I did, then now I would just be putting it in the tin. So I mean, I guess I do that now. Whoa, this is like about the right amount. For a second, I had a rare moment of excitement where I assumed that I'd somehow managed to get exactly the right amount to fill this one pan. While it may seem unapathetic, I think I'm gonna split this into several things, because what certainly is unapathetic is having to clean an entire oven, which I really don't want to do. So I found this much bigger tray, and I'm hoping that this will be big enough to accommodate the carrot cakiness. Yeah, this seems promising. I like this. Okay, I guess I'll put this in the oven for an amount of time and see how that goes. I'm gonna quickly clean up and then make the icing, and hopefully by the time I've done that, the cake will be done. Carrot cake usually has a cream cheese icing, so I'm gonna put on a cream cheese icing. That basically just means a lot of icing sugar, some butter, and some vanilla essence. Then you just need to mix that up. Oh, also some cream cheese. Spilling icing everywhere is optional, but encouraged as part of the tradition. Okay, it's been about 50 minutes, 45-ish. Gonna pull this out. Looks pretty good, I guess. Cake tester comes out clean, which is a good sign of it being done. I'm going to attempt to flip it out of the pan onto this wooden board. Let's see how that goes. The answer was it did not come out of the pan. I'm going to attempt it again. The center got stuck, but overall it's still pretty good. Be covered up by icing, so pretty happy with that. Gonna chop up some hazelnuts to put on top of the icing after this cools. Several reasons for that. First, because hazelnuts and cream cheese icing together on carrot cake is both traditional and delicious. Secondly, and most importantly, tricking people who aren't allergic to hazelnuts into thinking that this is a safe cake for them to eat, thus increasing the spooky surprise of this cake. Okay, my cake is cooled. Time to ice this bad boy up. I probably have enough icing to go around the edges, but I don't really want to go overboard with it, so I think I'll just leave it how it is. And to finish it off, just put on my third allergy boy. I'm not quite ready to ruin this yet, so I've got the scraps that were attached to the pan when I flipped it over with some leftover icing. So it's now 2:50 a.m. and I've spent 3 hours making this cake. So yeah, hope you enjoyed.